first time a therapist colleague talked about using an iPad for an art therapy exercise. This was about 10 years ago, and at the time, that seemed radical. Little did I know that that was just the beginning in the pairing of mental health and technology. I'm a licensed psychotherapist, which is a fancy term for talk therapy. Think Freud and prompts like, tell me how you feel. My office is in the heart of Silicon Valley, home to Apple, Google, Uber, Meta, hub of innovation. When I first started my practice, the most technological thing in my office was an analog clock. I took notes by hand, and clients paid in cash or check. It was just me, a client, a couch, a confidential space. It's been that way in my industry for the last 130 years, and I like it. However, a lot has changed in a short amount of time in mental health care. In March of 2020, therapists were just barely seeing clients remotely when social distancing pushed us, like many other industries, fully online. And at the same time, we were all on our devices more than ever before. Anxiety, depression, and loneliness were at an all-time high, and by 2021, all signs were pointing to a national mental health crisis. At the same time, tech companies started flooding the mental health space, offering apps and telehealth platforms to meet the new demand. And this might sound like a good thing, right? A mental health crisis and tech solutions equal progress, right? Yet therapists like myself have sat and watched as these tech companies use the same values that they brought to us, rideshare and food delivery service, to sell inner healing. Scalable, convenient, automated, always on. You've seen or heard in podcasts or in your news radio the marketing for these giant telehealth platforms. And what you might not know if you're not in the industry is that they're backed by venture capital. They expect to turn a profit, which means they take something from therapists. They often require a large sum of our financial backing, and they ask us to be on 24/7 to provide therapy in any place, and to use AI note takers. They record your session, which compromises confidentiality, a pillar of psychotherapy. The speed to which this has all taken place has outpaced research, ethical standards, and regulations. And if you've never been in therapy before, this might not seem shocking to you. But to a therapist, it's deeply concerning because therapy is confidential. It's relational. It's bound by ethics, unique ethics and boundaries. Not because we're rigid, but it keeps the relationship safe. A therapist can't be your friend. They cannot date your cousin. And you can't call them at any time unless it's an emergency. But when tech enters that sacred space without understanding the clinical values, something important gets lost. In inner healing, in my experience, there's 3 essential elements that are required, none of which can be replaced by technology. A human expert guide, a connection and trusted relationship with that person, and time. Inner healing cannot be fast-tracked, and it's challenging to do alone. In psychotherapy, the process is to identify the problem, increase self-awareness, deconstruct the thoughts and patterns that don't serve us, and reconstruct new ones. That's what reduces symptoms, and that's what builds relational and emotional resiliency. It's not convenient, it's not effortless, and it's certainly not fast. But Silicon Valley is built on disruption. Their motto is to move fast and break things. And that might work for turning a fax into an email. But in healthcare, our motto is do no harm, basically safety first. These two value systems, speed at any cost and safety, are fundamentally at odds. If your computer breaks down, you reboot it. But in healthcare, what can break are people like you and me. So who should be shaping the digital mental health landscape? The marketers or the clinicians? Right now, tech is winning with billions in backing. They're turning the mental health crisis into the next entrepreneurial trend. I can't help but wonder, should cost be shaping mental health care? What does it really cost us when we compromise those three elements: an expert guide, a relationship, and time? Right now, people are using AI for quasi-therapy and emotional health. Even though Sam Altman, CEO and founder of OpenAI, parent company of ChatGPT, has discouraged this use, regulations are slow in the making. People are becoming dependent on AI chatbots. Currently, they're trained to agree with us, and that agreement and sometimes flattery is meant to keep us on their app. They're using the same values that got us dependent on technology in the first place, which has actually led to digital addiction, impulsivity, distraction, and feeling alone. It's actually part of what's created the mental health crisis. AI has no soul on the other side of the screen. They can't read your body language. There's no nuance that they can decipher. So let's review. These three elements: an expert guide, a relational connection, and time. So who's an expert? Right now, it appears to be anyone with a platform. With TikTok therapy and wellness influencers, you might think that we're flooded with specialists. But in healthcare, to be an expert is a process. With graduate degrees, thousands of trained supervised hours, 3,000 in fact in my state, before you can sit for multiple board exams. Even then, to be referred to a specialist in a specific category like trauma or grief, you need additional training. This creates safeguards and gatekeepers to give you quality of care. But no one is moved by expertise alone. Did you know that the #1 predictor for outcomes in therapy is the therapeutic relationship? This was first hypothesized by Edward Bourdin, psychotherapy researcher, in 1979, and it's been substantiated several times since. That trusted, unique, boundaried relationship has a bigger outcome than measurements being used, the platform, or the type of therapy being implemented. And lastly, time. Just as we cannot take a seed and expedite the time it takes to become a 200-foot tree, nor can we expedite the time that it takes for humans that have gone through significant traumas and loss, toxic beliefs that we've held for decades, to become whole. It requires time. In my office, I've seen incredible things. I've seen humans with lives riddled with fear and trauma grow into flourishing, healthy people. But it didn't happen in a week. It didn't happen in a couple months. In the age of AI, we will be sold a story that time and even people are no longer required to get the outcomes that we desire. In our modern day, marketers tell the story of what's available to us, and we, the consumer, participate through purchase. The next time you are in need of mental health support, I urge you to find a quality, qualified expert. Lean into that relationship, let it move you, inform you, and invest in the time that it takes to heal. Technology is here to stay. We will keep using our devices. After this, you might use yours to find your way home, to sync up with a friend, to check the score of a beloved team. But remember that technology at its best is here to serve us, not shape us, and not to replace us.